That's right. We're still talking Michigan State winners or losers of this offseason. We got Connor Muldowney of Spartan Shadows on. And then, well, how much pain is Connor willing to endure for all of our gain? Let's go.
You are Locked On Spartans, your daily podcast on the Michigan State Spartans, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Today's episode of Locked On Spartans is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege. That's all one word, Locked On College, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Spartan friends, Spartan family, Locked On Spartans listeners, thank you all so much for tuning in to Locked On Spartans, your team in green and white 5 days a week. Please rate, review, subscribe, comment below. Do whatever makes you happy, and if that includes reaching out at lockedonspartans@gmail.com, well, let's go ahead and do that. I'm starting my week weekend, I should say, on a very happy note because we are joined by one of my favorite people to chat with. It is Connor Muldowney of Spartan Shadows. But folks, he might as well be doing this on the IR. He is less than 48 hours removed from getting wisdom teeth pulled. And go ahead and guess how many teeth he got pulled. He told me before the show. Connor, would you like to tell everyone just how special of a person you are? 5, baby. 5 teeth yanked out of that cranium of yours. Are we feeling okay right now? Because what better to, rehab from major mouth surgery than talking for 30 minutes straight on a show?
I couldn't imagine doing anything else.
I'm sure this is what the doctor had in mind.
So, make sure you talk as much as possible right after this. So I agreed to come on here.
There we go. First question.
My idea. This whole podcast is my idea. I actually set this up.
I mean, and we all thank you for it. So here we go. First question. What was a more pleasant experience, getting 5 teeth yanked out of your skull or watching your favorite college football team blow a 17-point lead at Rutgers in the fourth quarter? What would you rather do all over again, Connor?
Probably the teeth for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that game still not that it even matters because the whole last 2 seasons to me were just fake. They just don't count.
Right, Fugazi. Yeah,
just, right. If we win that game, maybe we still have the same quarterback room. I don't know, but
who knows?
It could have been a little butterfly effect. But I would never want that to happen again because I know it kind of flashed me back to the Illinois game in 2019. Was it 2019 or was it 2018?
19.
Was it 19?
Regardless, Connor, that's not the only time that game will be brought up. We have a special game in the third segment, and we will be talking about pain for the rest of Michigan State fans' gain out there. But just right here in the first segment, Connor, first episode this week, we had Aiden Childs on. It was awesome. And then 3 straight episodes, just me talking to myself in this basement closet that I've made into a makeshift podcast studio. It's been borderline unhealthy. So I am so glad that you've joined us because look, we're going to take some topics from the last few days and just at least bounce them off someone else here. One big topic. This came from a CBS Sports article. Winners and losers of the offseason. They slotted Michigan State in the losers, said Michigan State was imploding. We did 15 minutes on that the other day. But I did say, I don't know if I could call Michigan State winners, but I'm sure not going to call them losers. I don't know what to call them. So I'll make you do the hard work, Connor. You can only pick one, losers or winners. You can't be lame like me and just go in the middle. What would you anoint Michigan State as so far this whole offseason? Not just the spring, this whole offseason so far. I know, it's tough. It's tough.
I can't be neutral and say
no, only I get to do that. Only I get to be boring. You got to bring the sizzle on here, man. That's it.
I'm going to say it's going to sound biased because, it is what it is, but I'm going to say winners because we've kind of shed some of the dead weight from the previous regime, which I think kind of needed to happen. We're getting rid of some guys who didn't really buy into the culture here, and we're kind of getting guys who want to be here. So I'm going to say winners just because I think the team is set up to succeed more going into this coming season than they were going into last season.
I feel like it's just leaning on winners too. And again, I swear I'm not trying to be a Homer fan here, but my biggest issue isn't even the starters that have been lost. Mine is okay, the depth pieces because yeah, sure, 39 guys leave. Many of them won't even crack the 2D, but still you do need to fill out some depth at some places. And this is why I'm not like really worried about the whole starting situation. This is like what a lot of people want to focus on was like, oh my God, you lost 4 starters in the spring. That's crazy. Okay, but does anyone want to talk about, I don't know, it's like the 4 starters we added on offense or the 3 we added on defense? Like Aiden Childs, Tanner Miller, Luke Newman, Jack Velling on the offensive side of the ball. And then on the defensive side of the ball, Ed Woods, Wayne Matthews, Jordan Turner. Yes, DeQuan Dowse, Quindarius Dunnigan, but you can maybe put an asterisk by those. I don't know if they would have started if Simeon Barrow or Derek Harmon were here. But nevertheless, like I feel like a lot of the haters, Connor, and the naysayers are focusing on, yeah, the starters that you lost. But, like, guys, we also added some starters, too, on both sides of the ball. So that's where, like, I'm leaning winners again. It's not saying that the guys we lost aren't big deals, but we also added some big deals. I mean, like it's 2 off base.
yeah. There's only one position group that I think that like got worse because of the portal, like on the entire team, and that was the defensive line. I think, the offensive line we lost, Vandemark, which kind of sucked, but I think like you said, Tanner Miller, Newman, like those are really good additions, and what's his name, Andrew Dennis too. Like people, just added a top 200 recruit from this past class through the portal, so. I think winners only because most position groups improved, maybe minus safety too, but but that can be addressed in the portal, and I wouldn't be shocked if that was addressed like within the next couple of weeks.
The safety thing's fascinating because I mean, like Tatum can slide up there, like he's a versatile guy, so who knows what the drop off will be, but it goes down to depth and everything. But yeah, I think that's a podcast episode we'll do here in the near future, like where Michigan State got better this offseason. I think across the board, it's going to be positive for Michigan State. So that's where I'm at right now. One other question I wanted to ask, this was actually on yesterday's show. This is after we spent a good 10 minutes just railing on the whole Jaden Mangum visit to Michigan and the family reaction to that, which don't get us wrong, we will get to in the second segment here. But we also talked about surprise breakout players next year. I threw out some names. I threw out Jack Velling. I threw out Wayne Matthews. We had 6 names in total, but Connor, if you had to break it down into 1 or 2 surprise breakout players for this upcoming fall, any names pop into your mind immediately?
You kind of took Velling from me.
I'm sorry. I lied. I didn't say Velling. I said Parachek. I got the wrong tight end. So if you want Velling, go ahead and take it away.
Velling's not really a surprise. So that'd be kind of cheating. Parachek is a really good one, actually.
Thanks. Hey, thanks. Yeah.
You deserve a pat on the back every now and then.
Appreciate it.
I was thinking Jalen Thompson on defense for sure.
Strong.
I just feel like he really ended last year strong, and he seems more locked in than I kind of expected when he came in, because I remember we were kind of in a recruiting battle for him, and then nobody was sure if he was going to come here.
Right.
And it just feels like he's one of those guys who just. This is going to be like played down the line when he eventually transfers, but like he just feels like one of those guys who's just like locked in, and he's just, I don't know, he's got that Spartan dog as Tony Lippett likes to say.
Hey now.
And I'm trying to think of one on offense that's not Parachek, because that was a really good one. Jaron Glover's kind of already had a breakout, right?
I did use him yesterday because I think a lot of super hardcore fans know who Jaron Glover is, but maybe by and large the fan base might not know his name quite yet. He only did play 8 games last year, so it's not like he was a major high productivity guy last year. So I used him. Okay,
if you said Glover, I'm gonna go with Stanton Ramo.
Ooh, I like that. Okay,
it's not like the coolest pick in the world because it's offensive lineman. Nobody. Right. But I just have a feeling he's going to be one of those guys in the trenches.
I would not hate to see that early on. Bouncing back from the leg injury, hopefully he could be 100%. But yes, snaps are to be had on the offensive line here. Again, we don't hope that there's any injuries with the tackles, obviously. But let's not kid ourselves here, Connor. As Michigan State fans, there's no fan base out there in Big Ten country that knows about football and injuries more than us that support the green and white. Yep. So, an awesome few years here.
Have we had some injuries? I don't know. I haven't.
1 or 2 just over the last few years. That's it, though. It's okay. It's not like they had me and you playing backup safety against Penn State last year or anything. It's fine. It was all good. Connor, speaking of safeties here, we're going to be getting to the topic of conversation that just absolutely took Twitter by storm yesterday. The Mangum visit to Michigan this weekend, and then some other Michigan State stuff, and then of course the surprise segment at the end. But first, I need to talk everyone's ears off about the Gametime app, my favorite ticketing app out there, guys. You already know why I love Gametime. It is for saving that money from flash deals during the week. When you go on, look at the venue, look at the event. They're going to save you some money at some great seating locations, or the last minute deals. If you're walking up to the stadium, walking up to the theater, you don't have tickets. Well, good news for you. Gametime has got you covered with last-minute deals. But also, guys, it is just the easiest app to use. You get an actual picture of what your seat will be. It's 2 taps to buy these tickets, and they are just sent straight to your phone. Sure, you might not have some service outside of a stadium, and you're wondering, oh, my God, when are these tickets going to be emailed to me? I'm going to miss everything. Not with Gametime. Like, they are just boop, right there on your phone. I don't know if it makes that boop noise, but you get the point. They are just so simple to use. Guys, when you download Gametime, create an account, use promo code LOCKEDONCollege. That's going to save you $20 off your first purchase. Again, terms apply, but create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. It's Gametime. All right, now let's get Connor Muldowney of Spartan Shadows back into the mix here. And how responsible do you feel for everything that happened on Twitter yesterday with all the ire between the former players, the Mangum family, Spartan fans? Because over at Spartan Shadows, where you do fine work, you wrote the post about Jaden Mangum taking a visit to Michigan. That got quote tweeted by Tony Lippett, and then that was like throwing a match into a forest. The rest was kind of history after that. So did you sleep well last night knowing that you caused all this?
Yeah. Like a baby, like an actual baby. I feel like I didn't even realize until you just told me right now that my article was
oh yeah,
popped it off.
Yeah, it was you.
No regrets. No regrets.
I just railed on it for, I think it was upwards of 12 minutes yesterday. Just, very calmly. I was very hinged during it. I think I, kept it in bounds for the entire rant. What was your grand takeaways, though, from yesterday? And for those that missed it, the long story short is that, yes, Jaden Mangum, he's visiting Michigan. There's some former players that voiced just kind of confusion and outrage towards it. And then, even more confusingly, a Jaron Mangum family member or members, they were shocked that this isn't going over well with former players, and just it kind of just all blew up, and there was just mud being thrown all over the place. But what was your grand takeaway here? Just nonsense, or was it nice to kind of see, Michigan State rally around each other here this offseason?
It's a little bit of both, because I feel like Jalen Mangum, the mysterious third Mangum brother,
correct,
did his brother zero favors by just going at so any thought of maybe potentially coming back, probably not looking good. You got his brother and his sister, his brother calling people dweebs on Twitter.
Yeah. And
his sister making fat jokes that, it's
was fascinating.
Yeah. It was a very weird day for the Mangum family, I'm sure. I'm sure that group chat was just going crazy yesterday, but I don't know. You can't go at Felton Davis and Tony Lippett and RJ Shelton and expect a calm response from the fan base. Those are 3 legends at their position. I mean, they led Michigan State to the most successful era of most of our lifetimes. So
sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to go at them like that, you probably shouldn't miss, and they missed every single time they tweeted. So
look, I'm only just, going to just talk about one of the Mangums, the one that was vocal on Twitter. I can't just, throw them all in the same bucket here. Just a delusion. It's it all starts off with calling people on the internet dweebs, which fine. Okay. It's we are, some of us are, most of us are, but calling us dweebs, and hey, you can't talk about what it's like to be a former player because you just weren't in those trenches. And then, okay, well, hey, would you look at that? Former players actually start chiming in. Great. People that actually can speak. And then it was, hey, get out of the glory days here. This isn't the Michigan State program you played for. It's Jalen, that's the problem. That's exactly the mess that we're in right now, is that this isn't the Michigan State program of old. You are just so eloquently explaining the issues that are unfolding at Michigan State here. These are guys that just showed everything right with Michigan State. And, well, you see what's happening now. Yeah, there's a little bit of a culture change that has to be made, but that just drove me insane. It's like, if we're going to argue with each other, let's at least make a little bit of sense here. Just a little bit.
And like, I don't know. I feel like he didn't realize who he was talking to at first. Like, there's just no way he would have,
perhaps not.
Yeah, maybe. But like, at the same time, he had to have, because he knew how old these guys were. Like, it was just all like a whole weird talk. But like, I just love how it started with Tony Lippett just saying, "I hope he goes." Like, like the most like Tony Lippett tweet ever. Yeah, like, I hope he goes. Like, honestly, like, yeah, same, honestly. But
it is what it is. Who knows what's going to happen?
They did Jaden no favors. They did Jaden absolutely no favors.
That's the thing, right? Because, like, hey, maybe a door is open for a return, because this isn't like some of the other transfer portal entries where they did it during the winter, then they came back in the spring, and they did it again in the spring. Like, maybe there was a little bit of grace that, yes, he did leave basically at midnight of the spring window, but this wasn't a double dip situation, so maybe there was something there. But Connor, just like you said, man, no favors done yesterday, and look, it looks like he has some good landing spots out there. It's not like, Michigan State's his only shot at playing Power 4 football, but nevertheless, it's time just for a slow, or hopefully that's nice, hopefully rapid culture change here under Jonathan Smith. That's
yeah, I mean, like, the Michigan fans will say like, "Oh, Ben Van Sumeren did it," But
way different situation.
But they also had the same reaction. Like, they all kind of had like a little meltdown over it, because you don't transfer to your rival. And now the Michigan fans are playing it off like, "Oh, why are you upset about this?" Like, he's just trying to join a winner, or like just saying like the dumbest things.
The Ben Van Sumeren thing is so different. Like, he was buried on not buried, but like, he wasn't a starter on the depth chart at Michigan. His brother just committed to Michigan State. You could very easily connect the dots, or the other way around. I forgot the kid's name. I'm very sorry, but Ed Warner, he took the job at Michigan. He transferred from Michigan State to Michigan. No one's crying. Everyone understands that, but this is a guy who was the projected starter. He's practiced all spring as a starter and then left at midnight, basically. Again, like, that's rubbing a lot of people the wrong way. Like, that's where the issue lies here. Like, just the way it was done. And then also just the surprise that people aren't cool with this. Like, how far into the solar system are all you guys where you're not even tangibly close to understanding why people could be upset at this? I just don't know what.
Harbaugh wanted some of his teammates thrown in jail after the tunnel. Like
that did happen.
I don't know.
Actually happened.
It boggles my mind that he was involved. He was on that team, in that locker room, where they were like undoubtedly saying like the most vile stuff about Michigan. Probably, like, there's just no way that there was.
No, of course not. Yeah, right.
That would be like a turning point in your Michigan State playing career, where you're just like, I hate that team. I don't ever like. But to join them after, I don't know.
Nasty.
It's disgusting.
Nasty work. Oh, well. So there's one talking point, too, that kind of stuck with some fans here, the traditional fans, because it was the number 1 jersey. That's what Jaden Mangum wore, of course. And some people were rubbed the wrong way. It's like, wow, that jersey means a lot. Charles Rogers, one of the last to wear it. It went on hiatus for like roughly 20 years. And then Jaden Reed got to wear the number 1. And you feel okay about that. Jaden Reed, fine career here. But then it was just given to young Jaden Mangum. And, well, we're seeing how this is all unfolding. It's kind of like he wiped his you-know-what with the number 1 jersey, which some people hold sacred. I know people have varying importance on this, but Connor, like, how do you handle the number 1 jersey moving forward if this is important to you? Is this kept aside for someone special? Do you just retire it forever, or what do you do with the number 1 jersey from here on out?
I don't think you let one bad apple kind of ruin the whole outlook of it. I do think it is a special number. You do give it to someone who's, worthy and who's not going to transfer or consider transferring to a rival. I don't know, like Jaden Reed, perfect example. Like, he was exactly what you want from a Michigan State player. Yeah. He fit the number 1 perfectly. But I think that, you got to give it to upperclassmen only. Mangum got it. Did he have it as a true freshman?
I think so. I could be wrong. So if anyone wants to check me on that, okay, go ahead. Yeah, but
giving it to true freshmen and sophomores probably not the move going forward, because they could literally transfer by the time that they're upperclassmen.
Huh.
I think you give it to maybe like how Michigan did the 98 thing back in the day?
Yeah.
I think we kind of like award it to someone who's earned it through,
I like that.
I don't know. I feel like that's the only way you avoid the transferring number ones.
You give it out in the summer, right? And like, I don't know if there's any rules around that, but for sake of conversation, let's say that like rules don't matter anymore. You give it out in the summer after portal season's over. And like, for me, in my opinion, you give it to the top offensive skill position player, kind of like a nice homage to Charles Rogers. And even before that, Musa Muhammad, Andre Rison, guys that played back in the day. I just think that's a good way to honor it. I mean, I don't think we should just, shelve it for good. I mean, and this isn't to say like Jaden Mangum's the devil or anything, but like, you don't want him to be the last one to wear the number 1. I mean, but still, I think it's a legacy that should be continued. Just like be careful with it. And maybe it's a guy that is just like, your senior captain, so to speak, maybe even on either side of the ball. But, enough of that, Connor. We want to focus more on your dental work, your pain that you have endured in the last 48 hours. And also, guys, maybe some pain or glory that we have gone through in the last decade or so here. But first, need to talk your ears off about Monopoly Go. That's right. We got to pause here to talk more about Monopoly Go. And I know what you're saying. Flag on the play. You've already talked about that all week, Matt. What are we doing here? But guys, there's just so much good stuff in this game. In Monopoly Go, you can team up with friends for time tournaments where you work together to build up each other's boards. The more you win together, the more awesome prizes you unlock. And there is so much to get, like unique stickers you could trade with friends to complete albums for big prizes, cool new playing pieces to travel the boards with, hilarious emojis for taunting friends when you smash your buildings or heist their vaults. That's right. You could be a friend or a foe. And plus, Monopoly Go feels new and exciting every day with constantly changing tournaments and challenges. A ton include their own unique mini games like digging for treasure or a robot pachinko machine. And there's always new timed events that help you win big, like massive multipliers for everything you win or rent frenzies. There's always something fun to discover in Monopoly Go, so get off the bench and go download for free right now in Google Play or the App Store, or it's game on with Monopoly Go. Now let's bring him back on here, folks. The medical anomaly, Mr. 5 Wisdom Teeth himself, Connor Muldowney. I get it's not a leg amputation, but like still, anytime they're knocking you out to pull something out of your body, like that's not fun. Like that's surgery. That's not a great. I can't imagine Tuesday was your favorite day of all time, Connor. Am I overstepping there?
It wasn't one of my favorites. No.
Well, great. This sets up perfectly then, because here's the segment. Here's the idea. I got 10 scenarios written down in front of me. We're going to ask Connor if he would go through everything he did on Tuesday. And if you're a listener out there that had your wisdom teeth pulled out, you could very easily play along. I'm going to ask you, would you go through what you went through on Tuesday in order for the following to happen? Are you ready, Mr. Connor Muldowney?
Yes. Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's go. There we go. How about this for some nice off-season content,
baby? A very specific topic.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I had this written down. I was like, oh, God, I got to talk to someone on Thursday. They have to just went through wisdom teeth surgery 2 days prior. And, oh, hey, what? Hey, Connor, what's up, man? Perfect.
Chances.
Connor, would you go through Tuesday again to change the result of the 28-3 game against Illinois? That is the first one I had written down, not just because you brought it up in the first segment, but would you go through what you did on Tuesday to reverse the outcome of that game against Illinois a few years ago?
Oh man. I mean, like,
these only get harder too, by the way. Yeah, just want to let you know.
I'm going to say no, just because, like, we probably still have the same, like, staff, like D'Antonio not really caring and like, yeah. So probably not.
It is what it is at this point, right? Like, that's just a little blip on the radar. So it is what it is. If anything,
3 times a day.
Sorry, what was that? Sorry.
I only think about it 3 times a day now.
Which is like, that's a massive improvement from 5, which is where we were last year. So look at us, growth. All right. Would you go through wisdom teeth surgery again, Connor, for an 8-4 season in football this upcoming year? Let's call it the Music City Bowl, if you really want to throw a bowl game out there. But would you go through Tuesday for 8-4 this year, Connor?
Absolutely.
Wow, let's go. See, that's a fan right there. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Easy. That was easy. You said they get harder.
Yeah, I'm starting to think maybe they don't get harder whatsoever, actually. But oh well, we got 8 more of these, so let's find out where we net out here. Would you have wisdom teeth surgery again to reverse the Kansas State game result from last season's Sweet 16 game?
Yes. just because like that Elite Eight was so winnable that I think even though like knowing what we know about some players, I think that we could have parlayed all that momentum into a legit like title run.
Tom Izzo's record on the second game of a weekend in the tournament like speaks for itself. I know FAU was a fine team that year, but
their coach was kind of average.
Yeah, what's he doing these days? Yeah. All right. Would you get wisdom teeth surgery again for Tom Izzo to get a center in the transfer portal? Yes. I'm not even going to. Okay, that was a quick one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me just go ahead and write yes in all caps right there for that one. You know what? I think I was wrong. I don't think these get any harder. These all seem to get substantially easier.
I think the first one was the hardest.
It very well could be. I think I screwed up here. Would you go through wisdom teeth surgery again to get Derek Harmon and Simeon Barrow back on this year's team? Would you do it, Connor?
That one's tough.
Okay. I feel a little better.
Yeah, I do think that we like obviously would be way better with them, but both of them transferred to untransfer to transfer again. I think both of them did that, right?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just don't know if that's like the right fit for like the culture that Jonathan Smith is trying to build. And like obviously those would be the two best defensive linemen on the team by a mile.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But I mean, I guess give the young guys some run, and I don't know if it's worth me getting wisdom teeth pulled again to have him back, but I'm just gonna say no because it wouldn't matter either way.
Okay, I think it helps too that we've had like a few weeks to sit on this now and digest it all.
I'm over it.
Like if this happened last night, then maybe it's a different tune. But yeah, sure. But we'll go with no there. Would you go through wisdom teeth surgery again to relive the Rose Bowl game day back in 2014, Connor? Would you do it all over?
Yeah. I got the Rose Bowl shirt. You can't even see it.
This is fantastic. Look at you.
Yeah.
Where were you for that one? Were you at state still?
No, I had just graduated and I started my job in California and I didn't even go to the game.
Yo. Yeah, that's okay. You can probably just hear it from your backyard. That's okay. we get it. It's all good. Would you go through wisdom teeth surgery again, Connor, to erase Michigan's national title? Now we're ramping it up here a little bit. We're going across enemy lines here for your pain and maybe our gain.
I mean, yeah, probably. Just because like I hate him so much that seeing him happy like makes me sick to my stomach.
Yes.
And I think, but you and I have talked about like this has been like one of the quietest national titles that I can remember.
It was forgettable for a lot, and like that's for the rest of the country. Obviously, we're going to get the brunt of it. We're still in the state, but I feel like the nation by and large forgot about it 16 hours after it happened, which is cool. I mean, that's fine.
Good, maybe, yeah. I'd probably do it just because it'd be funny to not see them win it all.
Yeah, let's not get a twist. Like just like we've said, time and time again, like it could have been a lot worse. Like it could have been a lot more annoying and everything. Like all things considered, it's not as bad as I thought it was. But with that said, I'd still rather not happen. So, Connor, if you have a Groupon for 2-for-1 wisdom tooth surgery, I'll go in the chair next to you or share the same chair. I don't know how we're gonna do it. We'll let the dentist figure that out. But yeah, I'll join you in that one. Would you get wisdom teeth surgery again for MSU to secure a Final Four spot next season?
Okay, I have a question about this one.
Yeah, okay.
So if they secure a Final Four spot, is that the farthest they go, or is it like with a chance? We don't know.
The season still goes. It's with a chance still. So like you might be paired up against like I don't know who's a good team next year, Kansas again. Okay. So like it might be tough to advance, but you wake up.
Yeah, that's an easy. Yes. That's an easy yes.
Yeah, see, God, I made these too easy. I should have tested this beforehand. Oh, well, here we go. 2 more to go, Connor. Would you go through wisdom teeth surgery again? This is another game reversal to reverse the Texas Tech Final Four game result from 2019.
That one still haunts me. So, yeah, I got to go yellow. That one, I could still see the McQuaid miss in my head right now. And it just, I'm broken because of this question. So, yeah, I would do that. I'd probably do it like 4 times.
How many times do you come on the show and just have like the rest of your day ruined from here on out just because of our conversation? Is it like every time or is it just most of the time? What is it?
I'm only on here after like heartbreaking losses. So
devastation.
And now you're trying to bring me back down. I see how it works.
Yeah. Somehow this is even worse than the post James Madison game. The James Madison.
that was rough. What other post losses was I on? Was it?
Oh Lordy. Where do we begin? We did a few football.
Basketball, right?
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
take your pick of football season. I just if
Football
something
didn't
miserable
matter.
happened,
Yeah,
we've talked
football
about it.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. If anything bad happened in Michigan State athletics, I was probably on the next podcast.
I just hit the number 1 on my phone, and it just calls Connor immediately. It's the crisis helpline. So that's it. That's it. The last one. Let's get out the door here with a positive one. And I think I know the answer to this. Would you go through wisdom teeth surgery, 5 teeth out of the skull of one Connor Muldowney, for Aiden Childs to win that Heisman this year?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. How about just an invite to the ceremony?
Yeah, I think I'd do that. Just to put us on the map like that, that brings in recruits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How about for like a K9 season where like he should have been invited? It's actually a little annoying that he wasn't invited. He still wins other national awards, but he was not there for the ceremony. Would you still get knocked out and do the whole thing for that kind of a season from Childs?
But like, you got to think about it. If he's having that type of season, that means we're probably pretty decent. So I'm going to say, yeah. I'm going to say,
There
yeah.
we go. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so the scoreboard says you would go through wisdom teeth surgery 8 of those 10 times, all 5 of the positive outcomes. We did 5 positive, 5 negative. You said yes for all 5 positive outcomes. Now, my scientifical brain study kind of stops there. I don't know what that means. That probably just means you're a positive person and that you will take one for the team. You will be a sacrificial lamb for Michigan State fans. So for that, Connor, we thank you. We really do appreciate you. We're not actually going to, drag you to a dentist office again and do that whole shebang again. But
if those are guaranteed, I'll do it.
Would you do it all again for a win against Florida Atlantic to start the year?
No, probably not.
Okay,
I'm assuming I don't need my teeth pulled for that.
Just wanted to see how far we can get on just like what is Connor so starved for any smile that he'll just
Honestly,
just do anything?
I almost said yes, but I felt like I needed to say no after batting 800 right there. So
yeah. No, I get it. Well, you know what? I'm a little desperate myself too. I might settle for 2 teeth pulled out just to beat Tom Herman's Owls in week 1. Just to feel something again, Connor. Just to feel something again.
Are you not expecting to win that game?
No. I am, but I want it to be guaranteed. I want it to be guaranteed. That's all I need.
I like the surprise factor of it all. Like maybe we'll lose this game.
Oh my God! You want more surprises after the last calendar year? You're a sicko. You're a sick pop, Connor.
Yeah.
That's why we love having you on, man. Always a great chat. So, folks, that's Connor Muldowney of Spartan Shadows, and that is how we are riding into the weekend right here. What another great roller coaster ride we have done with him. Folks, we will be back again 5 days a week here on Locked on Spartans. Until then, love you all. Go Green.